Uh, we're back. It's us again. All right, we had a bit of a break. Last video was, I don't know, I like the last video because we stepped away from the focus on what candidates can do in the job search in terms of hiring process, using AI to help you with your applications or your interview prep. And then the third one about networking. And the last video, video number 4, was how you can make a good referral or how you can help people move forward in a process, not get lost in an inbox, get a conversation to have a first interview, right? We just want to help each other. So today we're going to take it a step further and talk about the introduction. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm Kelly. I'm the founder of Allora Collective. With me is Shay. She's a career coach who's been working with me for almost 4 years now. We are collectively helping people manage their careers, figure out what's next, build an exit strategy, navigate a job search that's not easy, build confidence, find communication skills, be better leaders. We really just want the work world to be better than we had it and keep improving it for other people. It's kind of like our next generation thing, which I like. So today we're going to talk about making introductions, which is the next step beyond making referrals for people, right? It's the warm connection that you can do. It's helping to nudge and offer to connect people and help them build their own little community so they can help each other. And that's what we're going to talk about today, which is a really important topic because it's not a referral in a system. It's a soft, hey, I think you should know this person, or you two should meet. Sometimes I call it a Yenta move, which I've been saying for the longest time, right? Traditionally, the Yenta was the matchmaker of the community. Recruiters are like matchmakers, are like Yentas, but you can be that person too. You can just say, I know this person, it would be great if there's anything you could do to help them out. They're interested in your company. So today we're going to just talk about a little bit more about why the introductions are so powerful. It's a soft referral, a connection, how to ask for one, how to make one, and why more of us should be doing it. Shay, you're the TLDR queen. Always. I'm more of the long statement, as we know. Start us off.
Yeah.
Give us the framework for this little chat.
I'm excited to talk about this topic because it's a little bit more nuanced than referrals. So we've talked a lot about referrals, the formal internal process. You have a role. Introductions are a little different. They're personal, they're direct, and they do move faster than any ATS or hiring process. So thinking about a warm introduction, a shared connection, it's the second best thing in a job search after a referral, and it'll get you in front of a real person. Some companies will call this a lead, like a prospect. So that's another way to think about it. But essentially getting you in front of a real person with the social proof already attached, which we've kind of exhaustively talked about AI, but this is another one where, hey, I know this person's real. You've got that real-time verification of like, hey,
Yeah.
you know, so that social proof, but also like this is, you know, a real potential candidate. And most people have shared connections that they don't activate. They're sitting in your mutual connections view. I think that this is a really great thing for candidates to think about, but also for connectors. There are some really great people out there who have a strong network and they're just not putting the puzzle pieces together of who should know each other. So making the introduction is a really valuable thing that you can do. Costs you a couple minutes and it can really influence someone's job search and, you know, also your potential reputation as a connector if you're bringing really great talent to the market. So we're going to talk about it from both sides, how to ask for an introduction and how to make one as well. So kind of kicking into the meat of our conversation today, Kelly, you do this all the time. Group messages, LinkedIn, email, WhatsApp. Can you explain what this looks like and why you think it works so well?
Yeah, I'm very much a nudger when it comes to making small intros. I feel like it's a good catalyst. I also feel very strongly that making introductions is a very good way to enable people to work on their networking, and sometimes they just need a nudge, right? And when you start it off that way, I don't know. I think it helps, and it's worked very well for me. So anyway, an introduction should be a group message. Usually it's on LinkedIn, sometimes it's on email, but it's when I connect a candidate with someone in my network who's either at a target company in a relevant field. I've connected clients to other clients who I feel like could be a great mentor for them, whatever it is. There's a reason I'm connecting them, whether it's for a job or planting a seed for future, because I think they could help each other at some point in the future, right? This is the best method for success, because the person is more likely to respond because they already know me. They already know the person that's sending the message. So if you're thinking about reaching out to someone you have no connection to, which we would call a cold message, this is better. So the first thing you look for is always going to be an employee that you know that you can ask for a referral, or an employee at a target company if we're talking about jobs. The second, the warm introduction, is through someone you know, right? It's a trust transfer. You brought this up in one of our previous videos about how from inside, you're seeing these volume of resumes that all look the same, because the same candidates are using the same AI tools and the same job post, and all the resumes look the same. Mm-hmm. And you lose this trust factor because it looks like they aren't real, right? And that can happen with a cold message that might come through, or you might think it's spam and you won't even pay attention because you don't recognize it. But if you recognize the person that sent the message, then the person I'm trying to help has a better chance of getting a response, right? And I loved when you brought that up. I think it was the first video we did in 2026 where we were talking about what you were seeing from inside in terms of the hiring process, like what happens after they apply. And I felt like that was a game changer, because a lot of people were feeling like AI was doing a better job, updating their resume towards a job description. But if all the resumes look the same,
then that's not a differentiator.
Decide who to talk to.
Yeah.
So that trust transfer thing it's a real thing, right? It also adds work to the recruiter. But making introductions is something that you and I both do regularly for clients. When we work with people, our networks are open. We always want people, and we teach them how to look at their own networks first, because we want to help them activate their own networks. But if they don't know anybody and they don't have any shots, we'll take the shot. I'll message someone I haven't spoken to in 10 years. Doesn't matter. I have nothing to lose. If they don't respond, they don't respond. But if they do, it's a big win. And it's a collaboration. It's helping people build their own little community and see how many people might be willing to help them. Sometimes people respond and they can't help, but that's okay. It's just a matter of getting in the habit and over the hump if they're scared to reach out. And making an introduction is an easy way. It's like putting training wheels on the bike when the kid's afraid to use two wheels, I think. And I also use a dating analogy for it, which I think I've been using forever, and I can't help it because I don't like apps. But if you were to say, I know this person, you should talk to them, I'd be like, all right, fine. Yeah. I'll go on a blind date. I trust you. They're not a serial killer. Fine. Whatever happens, happens. I would choose that 9 times out of 10 before I would swipe on an app. Mm-hmm. So it works very similarly in hiring, right? In fact, if not exactly the same way. No matter how many years go by, who you know or who is willing to help you because they know someone that you know is always going to be the best thing we can do for ourselves. It's the activist way. It's hyper local. Mm-hmm. It's how it should be. These companies with all their tools are separating us all, and we don't have a connection. And we should really just get back to the small connections, the one step at a time. So from where you sit, let's talk about inside as a recruiter. From where you sit when you receive an introduction, tell us about what makes you want to engage with it versus when you might ignore it or you might let it sit. Like, where's the value in the introduction for you? What makes you want to jump on it?
Yeah, so I think first piece is the values and the context. So if somebody that I know and trust, whether that's personal or professional, says, I want you to meet this person, I'm immediately going to be more attentive to that than cold outreach, because you've got that context there. What makes it land even further is when the connector is giving me enough context to know why they're putting us together. A couple quick quick brief sentences. Like in my past role, she's a senior PM in fintech, targeting roles in security. I know that's your department. I thought of you. Done.
Perfect.
I have the resume, I have what they're looking for, I have the why, and I can take that and action it. What makes it fall flat is like the connector just adding us to a group chat with no explanation. The number of times that I've been added to some mass group chat where it's just like, okay, what am I doing here? And then everyone's just confused. You do need to set the stage if you're introducing people. So
people have actually done that? That's crazy. Like, what is this, psychic tomorrow? You're all supposed to know why you're in this group.
Or you get added to some random LinkedIn group and it's like, okay, cool. So a good introduction, you want to set the stage. And if the introduction is for a candidate targeting either a specific role or target company, it does help if the candidate has already applied. Again, this isn't explicitly a referral, it's an introduction. So if you have the resume or if they've already applied with the resume, then that just gives you something easier to action. So definitely in the recruiter seat, the more context I have, the better. We've talked about this in previous conversations, but something I can copy paste, right? I don't want to have to go hunt for it. So that's save me time in terms of like, is this something I can action in 5 minutes? It is? Great. Okay.
The one-click wonder. That's what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Kelly, how does a candidate ask for an introduction? What's the right way to make that ask from the candidate side without putting someone in a weird position?
It's a good question. And it's the next step after what you just said of when you're asking someone for help, make it as convenient as possible for them to help you, right? Try to make it a one-step thing. If you're asking for an introduction about a specific job, send a couple short paragraphs about why you're exactly the fit. Send the link to the actual job post. We've talked about this in other videos. Tell them if you applied for the job already, tell them the date that you applied. If there's no job and you want a connection to a company, tell them not just why. Don't just write, I'm interested in the company. Tell them why. Tell them what in your experience connects you to the role. Give them something they can. In this sense of the introduction, it's being forwarded to the next person. So give them the pitch, give them the blurb. Do your homework first, right? We work with clients, we show them how to use tools like LinkedIn. LinkedIn will give you a list of your shared connections. It's not the people tab on the company profile, by the way. I don't like that one. But find the shared connections, and when you send the message, say to them, I saw that you know someone at this company. If you can be even more specific, I see that you're connected to this person at this company. They are on the team that I belong working with. Like, be specific. And then ask them, would you be comfortable making an introduction? If not, I understand.
Yeah.
But if you are, I'm happy to draft a message so you can send it in one piece, or even better, if you are able to help me, I've added a message below about why I'm a fit for the job, and I've attached my resume for reference, so you can see it all in one step, like something like that, right? Keep it loose, not too long, but you want to make it a one-stop shop, right? And the last part is really, really, really important, is to give them the exact words. Make it one action, one thing they can do. Don't make it a project. The only thing you're asking for is the introduction so that you can be on their radar if a job opens up in the future. You can understand what the team is looking for so that you don't get overlooked in the inbox because you already applied for this job and you know that inboxes are at a high volume. Like, be specific. Don't just say, can you introduce me to this person? I'm interested in the company. It's not enough. And also, for the person making the introduction, it doesn't make them look good.
Right.
So if you're asking me, send me a message that also makes me look good, that makes it look like I read it and I was willing to send it. If you send me something that's really loose, and if you're not sure what to write, you're allowed to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody says to me, I'd love an introduction to this company, I wrote this, can you read it for me first? If you have any suggestions on editing it, I'm happy to do that, but send me something.
Yeah.
Right? An anonymous example, I had a client, high-level leadership candidate in technology, and they applied for a role. I already knew that I was connected to an executive recruiter at the company they applied to. And within 24 hours, their application was rejected. I think I mentioned this in one of the other videos. The client emailed me and said, well, I got rejected, so I guess that's it. And I responded, no, I don't understand that. It's not it. I made the introduction anyway, and the executive recruiter responded same day and said, I have no idea why they got rejected. I'll set up a call with them this week. So some of these things are happening behind the scenes. And I guess my point in sharing that is please don't give up. There's nothing wrong with asking. Also, if it is an open job and you applied for it and then you got rejected, maybe they took the job down after a week or two, just because the job isn't posted doesn't mean they filled the job.
They might be doing admin cleanup. The company might have a really strict SLA, service level agreement, about how long candidates can be in a queue. And so they're like, let me close this because I need to catch up. Like, it
still takes 30, 45, 60, sometimes 90 plus easily, especially if you're going into the leadership side, to fill these jobs. So don't give up. You're allowed to message someone and say, can you check on my status for me? Everything's fair game. Give people the chance to say no. That's how I operate. All right, let's talk about making introductions from your side. You have a network full of recruiters, hiring managers, people at your companies. What makes you want to do this more? Or what makes you hesitate to make introductions? So I'm thinking about people who aren't as open to making introductions as I am. And they're like, I don't know. Should I make this introduction? I don't want to bother everyone in my network. Like, what advice would you have? Because you and I have a different rhythm of it. I know I'm a little bit more of a pushy nudger when it comes to this stuff, but you're also very good at it. But I think you have a different lens of how you filter when you want to make the introduction, when maybe you ask for permission first before you do the intro. So maybe just talk a little bit about that for anyone who's like hesitating and isn't sure how to like test their network.
Yeah. And it's normal to feel hesitant. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I've been on LinkedIn over a decade. And for those of us that are in recruiting, I have a lot of connections that I literally have no idea how or why I'm connected to them. And sometimes I get imposter syndrome about reaching out to those people because it is the like, I don't want to bother them. I don't know them. And, I'm putting my name on that every time I reach out. And so, a lot of times with these connections that, maybe I connected to them because I was trying to recruit them, or maybe I connected to them because they're also a recruiter in my industry, So I think there's a little hesitation there, but kind of flipping it and thinking about, well, who are the connections in my network that I would be proactive for? Or who are those people that are currently sitting at companies that, I can reach out to, ex-colleagues who are recruiting for, some of these top companies, where thinking about it a little differently of like the proactivity of like, who's an easy yes on both sides and starting there. Since we've been working on the notes for this conversation, and since I've been thinking about it, trying to be more proactive. And now that I'm in job search myself, I'm actually in a networking group that is all of my ex-colleagues from my previous contract in my department. So it's like a 40-person group chat. And I've seen a lot of really great behavior modeled in terms of people screenshotting or sending the link of LinkedIn posts or messages that they're getting. Hey, I'm in late stages with other companies. Does anybody else want an intro for this? And so I had gotten a recruiting email for a fintech company that transparently, it was moving away from where I want to be, larger company, later stage. I'm looking at more startups this time around with my search, but I had a colleague in the chat who I knew was looking. And so I DM'd her, sent her the email, and asked if she wanted an intro. So I did the intro. So I'm feeling good about myself that, I have a little feather in my cap for this month of connecting somebody from my previous department with a recruiter who is looking to recruit. So I think part of it is just being proactive with how you think about your network, because it is really powerful when you do it right. And I think especially for those of us that are in any form of talent, people facing, we've taken time to build these relationships, and your name means something. And I think using it to help people is really one of the most powerful things that people can do right now. And I think the easy solution for some of that imposter syndrome is only introducing people that I know well enough to vouch for, to be able to say like, hey, this person's worth your time. Where even if it is a connection that I don't know, I know that if they get on the phone with them, that's going to represent me well. And then in turn, like, does build that relationship. So I'd say to people at companies with strong networks, like, you do have something of value, you know, people who are in a search. So thinking about it from the other side and just starting to kind of map that out. I think the gap between these two can be really quick once you start to, think about your list. So just excited to commit to doing this more going forward. But yeah, it's just, flipping the perspective and how I think about it.
How do you decide between sending the intro versus sending a one-liner of, I wanted to introduce someone to you. Are you open to that?
Well, I think sending the intro, as we've talked about in this conversation, there's more accountability there in starting the group right away, because when I'm sending the like, hey, I want to introduce you to somebody, there's not really anything to action there. And I would say most of those that I send, I don't hear back from. So I want to try the group messages more consistently.
So your advice based on your tests is group messages.
Group messages. And then it's
knock
also
down the door.
It's easy. Then you have two people that are following up on the thread, right? Instead of just me sending a message out into the ether.
Exactly. That's one of the things I love about the group messages too, is because with our clients, we always do the 4-week follow-up cycle, right? People want to help, but we have to assume they're busy at work, they're busy at home, they haven't checked LinkedIn or their email in a while. We have to assume if they don't respond, it has nothing to do with us, because it really never does. Something else distracted them. So we do the 4-week follow-up cycle. So for all of our clients, for anyone watching that doesn't know, every week you should be following up for 4 weeks. The first week is the full message. So if I did the intro week 1, it's the full message. And then whoever I did the intro for should be responding within 24 hours. You don't wait for the other person that you're asking a favor from. You respond, thanks, Kelly. Thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you need anything else, please let me know. It's just a very quick, easy sign of gratitude and respect that goes a long way. And it also moves the message to the top of the inbox. So then let's say they don't respond, and then it's week 2 and the candidate, right, follows up. I know how busy you are, just moving this to the top of your inbox. Please let me know if you are able to help me. I'd appreciate it. Let's say they don't respond after 2 weeks. That's when we want our clients, or that's when I want people to say to me, hey, they haven't responded in a couple weeks, and maybe I'll give a nudge this time. So we can kind of tag team it. It happened to me towards the end of 2025. I was doing an intro to 2 people I used to work with at booking.com, and they didn't respond. And we were on week 3, and it made no sense to me. I knew something was off.
You're like, so I know they're online.
I was like, this doesn't make sense. I know them. I know they would help. This is, I went into my Instagram and I sent them a DM, literally within 20 minutes. Oh my God, I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. I'll get on it. So sometimes just being brave enough to do the extra nudge is a great place to be at, right? How about we talk a little bit about like the structure of the message? I know we've talked about this a million times, but I feel like it would make sense. So when someone asks us for an introduction, we want to help them look their best, make the best first impression with that written message. We have free templates on our website about this. When you sign up for a free consultation in the welcome email flow, the latest template is the second one. We help our clients draft these and customize them. But in short, the structure of the message should be direct. It should be brief. It should be to the person doing the introduction, right? So let's say I'm asking you for an introduction. My message would be, hi, Shay. Thank you so much for offering to help me with this introduction. I applied for this job on this date. Here's the job link. Here's the link to the job post. And below are a couple of short paragraphs about why I'm a match for the job. I've also attached my resume for convenience. Please let me know if you need anything further. That's it.
Yep.
The 2 short paragraphs, one we always recommend is a short paragraph, I mean 2 to 4 sentences, maybe 3 to 4, a career summary. And this summary is what you want to emphasize in your career that matches you to the job or matches you to the company. Maybe it's X number of years in a certain industry. Maybe it's
challenges that you've solved that are similar to
or a specific transition or a pivot. The second paragraph is an example, is one career example that is the best qualifier for the target. If the target is the job you apply to, the company, something that's that makes you an expert where you can help them with their product, whatever that is. It could be that you have experience at a startup that had a successful exit. If that's the example that makes you a great fit for the next company, then that's what you talk about. But you send it in a very clear, direct framework so that the person helping you can copy and paste and get it done. Again, in one shot. You want it very clean. We just mentioned this before. After the intro, the candidate or the person being introduced should respond first. Within 24 hours, they should take the lead immediately. Easy and simple. You've made your intro. Now it's up to the candidate to take over. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Let me know if you need anything else. And then they set their follow-up schedule for 4 weeks. If the person doesn't get back to them in 2 or 3 weeks, it should be up to the candidate to let us know, or the person that made the introduction know, that they haven't responded, and ask us if we feel like there should be a check-in, right? But if you're the candidate, you should not expect the person who made the introduction to babysit this. They're giving it to you. It's up to you to run with it. But you're also allowed to ask for help along the way, right?
Yeah.
And then if it works out, or the person they introduced you to, it helps them, whatever the outcome is, tell the person who made the introduction, let them know. Same if someone refers you for a job and you ended up getting an interview, but you didn't get the job, tell them and say, thank you, I really appreciate it. Thank you for helping me. If there's anything I can do to help you with my network, I'm happy to. So you always want to try to pay it forward, pay it back. Mm-hmm. All right, so we're almost at the end. Now we get to do TLDR again, your favorite, my favorite. Anything you want to add to the structure or the format of the message, or if you want to just go into the TLDR for anyone watching who's thinking about making introductions or asking for them, maybe they don't know where to begin. Yeah. Where do you want to take us?
I think the structure is great. The other thing that I will add on if there's anything I can help in my network, the offer with the ask is also, you can make the offer for if there's anything I can do to promote the work that you're doing. Because
I love that.
Somebody has a new venture that they're starting, or they have a fundraising event. You'd be surprised the amount of people that are like, really appreciative and have something else that they want to support with. And again, you're just building that relationship, making the asks and thinking about the ways in which it can be reciprocal, I think helps a lot of people get over that hump of like, oh, I'm constantly asking for favors. Well, you have something to offer. You can promote their work, you can share their post, you can, repost their, kids fundraiser. There's so many different things that we can do that aren't just explicitly networking to help the people that are making these introductions and referrals.
I love that. It shouldn't be a handoff. It should be a continuous thing of, I'll pay attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that. Yeah.
And I think to summarize, if you're a candidate thinking about 3 people in your network who have a connection at a company that you're targeting, going to their profile, looking at their mutual connections on LinkedIn, making a specific ask. We've talked about this a lot. Draft the message for them. The easier you make it, the more likely you are to get the yes. If you're a connector, think of one strong person who's in your network right now who's actively job searching. Think about another person on the other side who can help. Write the message, hit send, takes just a couple minutes. You don't need a system. You don't need to have a spreadsheet that you're tracking all of these things. You just need the willingness to help and make those connections, and people will thank you for it. I think it's a really challenging market right now, and anything that we can do to differentiate, especially if you have those personal connections, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. Even if it's just a random thought of, oh, that makes me think of this person. They're still in their job. They've been there a couple of years. I wonder if they're looking. I wonder if they'd be interested. Ask them. Not everybody's public about wanting a new job or job searching. It's also a great excuse and a great way to keep your network active by just saying, I saw this and I thought of you.
Yeah.
If you're interested, great. If you're not, no worries. I just happened to see it. I think it really goes a long way when you just let people know they're thinking of you or that you're thinking of them. Sorry, I said that wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I also started doing that like years ago, because sometimes if you know someone's in a difficult position or they've gone through something heavy, you don't really know what to say because you know you can't fix it. But sometimes a small message, I was just talking to my mom about this, of thinking of you. And if you're on LinkedIn for 5 minutes, you see a company or you see something and you're like, oh, I remember him or I remember her. Maybe they would be interested in this. I don't know what they're up to, but let me just ask.
Yeah.
Like, just, if you have nothing better to do, if you have nothing else to do, just put a little kindness out there and put a little offer to help someone out there, especially if you're not feeling great about the world. It's a very good thing, right? And I love the thing about offering to help too, because I've had a lot of people, I'm sure you have too, say they feel weird asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
And usually what I say is combat the guilt by making an offer. Put it in the bottom of your message. Thanks for considering this. I understand if you're not comfortable, let me know. But if I can help you in kind, or if I can help you in any way with my network as well, I'm happy to do it. And I think that goes a long way. It kind of closes the loop. So at the end of the day, I know you feel very strongly about this. I feel very strongly about it, but in kind of a larger way of what we're seeing people go through and how they're experiencing even the last few years, but how career and lives have changed in recent years. And at the end of the day, I feel like connecting people and making introductions is the most human thing we can do for each other. Anybody listening or watching has definitely heard us say this multiple times. They've been hearing me say it for many years, for sure. But companies are not going to fix candidate experience. They have not fixed candidate experience. I have personally interviewed with companies who swore by their candidate experience, and it was the worst, most lacking, ridiculous candidate experience I've ever seen. The fluff on the website is not the thing. It's the people. It's the people who take those extra 2 minutes to say, let me help you. How can I help you? That makes the difference. So we know what's happening in the job market in all countries. We know what technology is doing to it right now. We knew it was coming. We knew they were going to be buying these tools to make things faster and cheaper because that's what they were told. And now we know that in doing that, they're making it worse for the real people. The hiring teams are struggling, the recruiters are frustrated, and the candidates are frustrated. They're using these tools that they're told are going to get them this, it's not getting them that, and it's like this from both sides. So take the tools out of it, use them where they can be. Watch our second video about how to use them properly. But we have to be connectors, right? We have to be the ones that say, I know someone, let me put you together, right? That's community. That's local, that's hyper local. That's when everything is crazy and chaotic. Just focus on the 3 feet around you, right? Just focus on that. Keep it small, because all those small things add up. And this is how we take control of the chaos. This is how we take our power back in the market from the way that they're trying to minimize people, minimize candidates, remove the human experience, make it all some weird assembly line, AI test taking thing. The people you know and the people that are willing to help, even if you don't know them well, are always going to make the difference. And I really just want to see everybody focus on that. And I think that's how we get through it. And I think it's how we beat this back. And you also do not have to be an extrovert. This is my last thing. You do not have to be an extrovert. You don't have to do what I did 20 years ago and go to the conference and come back with 200 business cards and shake hands and be exhausted and be performing and smiling the whole time. You do not have to do that. You don't have to have a massive network either. You just have to be willing. And you just have to do one small thing at a time. 3 or 5 small things a week consistently is 10 times better, 100 times better than doing nothing for 3 weeks and then spending one hour a month or 2 hours a month doing a million things.
Right.
The small, consistent things that you just add in to your daily will add up and build. And all of these connections and networking things are planting seeds. We gave the example of having an introduction if you apply for a job, especially now. There's confidential searches going on. There's things getting lost in the ether and in the inboxes. People should be networking. I'm interested for when a job opens up. I want to be on your radar when that happens. Right now, it's the end of May. June is going to get snoozy. July and August, people are either on vacation or they wish they were, and things slow down. So now is the time to plant the seeds for September. This is the cycle that we're in. I just want people to help people. It makes you feel good. Like, be selfish, make yourself feel good and help people. That's kind of where I'm at. Did I forget anything? I don't think so.
That was good. As you were talking, I was thinking about the community and the hyper local of maybe this is dating me, maybe in a good way, but this Mr. Rogers energy of being a good neighbor, like thinking about others in this way in a really challenging time. It's just a reminder that, anybody in job search right now knows somebody, and somebody who could potentially help them. So being that person for someone, and if you're on the candidate side and you want help in navigating this, or you feel some type of way about making asks, or you're nervous about your templates, that's something that we help our clients with. So book a free session with us. Find us at our website, alloracollective.com. We're always happy to help with this.
Good point. I like that. We do work with clients one-on-one for anyone who isn't familiar. And what we discussed today is part of one of the sessions we do, which is a networking session. We have a somewhat framework of curriculum, but we personalize and adapt all of our job search and career development and growth strategies and relocation strategies for each person. So the networking session does include some of these strategies and the techniques to use LinkedIn more efficiently, in editing messages, in finding the right people to reach out to, and also how to choose between people. If you find a person, a hiring manager versus a recruiter, who do you ask first? Who do you ask second? Those kinds of things. And what we want to do is we want to teach our clients how to identify where the best introduction opportunities are, how to prioritize them, and then we help them draft the messages, not only to send them in that moment, but to create templates that you can reuse so that you basically have a fill in the blank formula of how to do this in the future, so that you're only customizing a few things, but most of it stays the same. And I think the whole idea of, I don't even want to say networking anymore, but the whole idea of connecting with people without it having to be like your best friend or a grand thing is, I think it's probably, no, I'm going to say it is the most impactful and lifelong skills that we work on with people, probably up there with communication. And speaking up for yourself and amplifying your voice with confidence and feeling okay with that. But really being able to connect people and like feel good about it and spread that around. I mean, that's something we should be doing forever. So we said it in the last video. I want to say it just one more time. We both mean it. It's why we focus on the individual. It's why we focus on one-on-one. It's why we customize everything we do for people, because we think and we know that people deserve to have a team when it comes to your career, when it comes to your decisions, when it comes to relocating to different countries or states and you're trying to figure these things out, because we should be in this together. Everybody deserves to have a team. So whether it's introductions, referrals, having a career coach, showing up for each other is really what makes the difference. And it's also how talent takes its power back. So stop waiting for the companies to come to you or to give you these tools, and start helping each other. One person at a time. That's it. Just one, and then just one more. And you'll be pleasantly surprised of how good it feels, right? Yeah. I could have a very struggling week and a low week and I'm stressed out, and I can get one text. I got the next interview. I'm so excited it worked. I said everything I needed to say. I talked about my exit and I negotiated a package. I asked for more money and I got it. Like the small things. Thank you for the introduction. I have a conversation next week.
Yeah.
You know, we want to help, but we also want to feel good about helping each other. So, yeah. I think we want to keep the conversation going, don't you think?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we pick these topics because they're so relevant for basically everyone, right?
Yeah.
So we want to hear from you. If you have other topics that you want us to cover, let us know in the comments. We're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn. You can email us, team@alloracollective.com. You can DM us. We're very reachable. You figure out your method of communication that you like online, and you can reach out to us, and we're happy to cover hot topics that you're curious about. We're also open to doing a live Q&A. Just tell us what you want, and we will build content around it. So just a reminder for how to find us. So alloracollective.com has more information on our plans, free consultation link, blogs, templates. There are specific blogs that we referenced in this previous conversation. Networking templates are available on the blog. You can also search our Allora job search system. Like, share, and follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram. We would love to hear from you.
That's good stuff. I would like to get more ideas from the audience. I think that would be fun. But I think we're in a good place for now. And summer's here. I mean, I'm hot. It's today. It's 50. We're in the low 80s, but it's getting there. You could feel it coming. Like you could smell summer is here.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm dealing with a May gloom today. I think it's gonna rain tonight. So,
the May gray June gloom. I miss California. All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And book free consultation, grab some free stuff on the blog. And we want to see everything get better for everybody.
I'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye.